If you've been thinking about doing a virtual practice, you may be wondering about the legalities of providing nutrition therapy across state lines. How does it work with licensure? And how does it work with billing insurance? Well, I've done it, and in this video, I'm going to give you the scoop on how it all works. Hey folks, it's Amy Hager. I'm a registered dietitian in private practice, and I run a 100% virtual practice. In fact, it is an insurance-based telehealth practice. But this wasn't always the way. Actually, when I started 7 years ago in private practice, it was an in-person practice, because back then, being reimbursed with insurance, the only way you could work with clients was in person. And I thought I had a pretty good setup. I actually had 2 offices in North Carolina at different locations in different cities, and that expanded my reach to be able to target clients in different areas. But now the gloves are off with telehealth because you can reach clients all around the country and bill insurance. One of the draws to a virtual practice is location independence. You can be in any location, but work with patients in different areas. So I'm going to tell you more about the ins and the outs, the do's and the don'ts of telehealth in this video. If you're just starting to think about private practice and you're interested in telehealth, leave me a comment below, telehealth, so we can celebrate the new opportunities that are arising right now that are available to dietitians. Now, when I moved to Colorado, my circumstances changed. I no longer was working in the city. In fact, the office space that I was able to get, even though it was no charge, I really didn't have the clientele or the way to get in front of people or advertise my services quite the same as I did in North Carolina. Having an in-person practice in a very rural location can have its challenges. I was really hoping to have more location independence by having a virtual practice. But something crazy happened with the pandemic where telehealth became normalized. Everybody was seeing their providers through telehealth, including dietitians, and insurance companies were stepping up to the game and they were starting to reimburse for these visits. In fact, many states were passing laws called parity laws that permitted telehealth to have the same coverage as in-person visits. So this changed the game. We're actually now, as a dietitian, able to counsel patients virtually and be paid the same through the insurance companies. But the one thing that you have to understand as a dietitian is the licensure laws. Every state has a different setup as far as licensed dietitians being able to provide medical nutrition therapy. One way where you can validate this information is to go to eatright.org. That is the Academy's website, and look up the licensure map for the country. And you'll be able to see all of the states have different colors: red, orange, green, some of them are even gray. When you click on a particular state, you'll be able to identify what the licensure requirements are to practice nutrition therapy within that state. Now, I live in Colorado, which happens to be a non-licensure state. Nobody needs a license to practice nutrition here, which has its pros and cons. But the thing that you can do is, if you want to work with other clients outside of your state, you might want to consider targeting clients in states that don't have licensure. Other states have practice exclusivity, meaning that you have to be licensed in that state to practice. Some states, even though they have licensure, don't have practice exclusivity, meaning there might be circumstances where you can see a client from that state even though you don't have a license there, they still allow it. So definitely take a look at the Academy's licensure map to fully understand. You might even need to go to the state's nutrition board to find out what the requirements are to practice nutrition. But as a safe bet, you can go to the non-licensure states and target clients in those states to be able to work with them via telehealth. Now, as far as the insurance goes, you're going to need to verify benefits when you call the client's insurance company. So I always ask, is telehealth a covered benefit, to get confirmation from the insurance company that it is. And when you're billing, you want to make sure that you indicate your visit was a telehealth visit. But I have worked with clients in states such as Virginia that doesn't require licensure. I have billed insurance indicating a telehealth visit for this client and been paid. So your world opens up a lot more with the opportunity for telehealth and practicing in other states beyond your home state. If you're interested in practicing in a state that has licensure, you might want to get licensed in that state. Usually there's a few steps that are required, such as a background check, there's possible CEUs, there's definitely a fee, probably around $300. So there might be an instance where you want to get licensure in another state. Perhaps it's a state that you have a lot of connections to, or you want to really target that area. So just go to the state's nutrition board, find out what the steps are to get licensed in that particular state. Licensure may cost $200 or $300, but if you're seeing regular clients, that's going to pay for itself over time. There's no need to go overboard getting multiple licensures in a lot of different states unless you're getting a lot of client leads from those areas. The other thing to consider about telehealth is, how are you getting clients from multiple states? Do you have a large blog following on your website? Do you have a social media following? How are people getting in touch with you? Well, one thing to consider is, in addition, you can be a little bit more proactive with your listings on online directories. So there's two that I recommend. One is called healthprofs.com, and you can list yourself in several different locations. You might list yourself in another state. So you can say Virginia or Colorado as a state where you are targeting clients and they don't have licensure, so you're not having to worry about getting that license. The other one is ZocDocs. ZocDocs operates a little bit differently, where patients directly book with you on the website, and there's a little bit of a finder's fee involved, but same thing, you can list yourself in different locations around the country depending on where you want to target, and people in those areas are going to search for dietitian and find your name on the list. This is a great way to leverage online directories to target clients in certain states. ZocDocs also allows you to enlist the insurance companies that you're in network with, so it really highlights the fact that you take insurance and are also able to practice in other states beyond your home state. The other thing interesting about telehealth is that it doesn't matter where you are during the appointment. You can literally be in any state or country and still legally provide nutrition therapy as long as the client is currently in their state. Now, if the client's on vacation, technically you're not supposed to provide nutrition therapy. They must be located in their state that either you're licensed in or the state that doesn't require licensure. And that is what you call a location-independent lifestyle. You can really work from anywhere, and not have to be tied to an office, not even your home office. So telehealth has really blown the doors wide open for this great opportunity for dietitians to get involved in private practice and work with insurance companies and work with clients from all around the country. So if you want to know more about getting your private practice started and you want to have some assistance with that, I do offer a program for dietitians called Part-Time Practice, Full-Time Life. I invite you to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description of the video below so you can take a look at the program and get your telehealth private practice started. Guys, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Folks, thanks for watching, and I've posted the last video here in case you missed it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great updates about being a private practice dietitian.